Hello everyone. Please comment, rate, subscribe, folks. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos. I want to thank everyone that does like, watch, and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. Listen, folks, there's a link tree down below. Has my iTunes down there, my Blog Talk Radio page, other YouTube channels I've created as well for content that I make, different kind of content I make on this platform. Also, my social media links are down there as well. Please go down there, follow me across the board on all those pages, and I want to thank everyone that does that, especially everyone again that follows me on my social media. I love going back and forth with people, having conversations about different stuff. So I want to thank everyone that gets involved with those links any way that they can. Also want to thank all the new subs that I have. A lot of Chiefs fans came through and definitely spoke their piece on how they felt about the New York Jets and the things that we need to do to improve and their outlook and what they saw. So salute to you folks, man. I wish y'all nothing but the best. You got a good team over there, and I wish y'all the best going forward because let me tell you, it's tough being a Jets fan right now. So salute to y'all. Had a really good time going back and forth with you folks as well. So now that that's put to the side, I'm here to talk to you folks today about the Jets trading Avery Williamson. For those of you that don't know, the Jets just traded Avery Williamson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they also traded a 7th rounder with him as well to get a 5th rounder back in exchange. So I know a lot of people was, hitting me up saying, hey, Joe, what do you think about this move? How do you feel about it? I feel like it's a decent move. And the reason why I feel like it's a solid move for us is that Avery was not going to be here in the future. We clearly see the direction that our season is going. And, it's pretty much like you see that Joe Douglas is preparing, for the team to be, dismantled in this offseason. So this is part of like the fire sale going forward. He's ready to do what he can to, build the structure of this football team, and we all know that his philosophy is building through the draft. And if you look at a lot of issues that this football team has, particularly impact positions, hell, you go back and you watch that Chiefs game we just played, our corners are horrific. I mean, they're really bad. Pierre Desir, Bless Austin, I watched him get cooked consistently. Guess what? To get better at those positions, we're going to need young, cheap talent. And guess where you can find that? The draft. You know what I'm saying? We're going to need that. We have so many positions with gigantic holes in them coming up soon. We're going to have to make some moves, and we're going to have to do something. I know a lot of people look at this roster, and I say this all the time, and I don't really think people really think about it. We have players on this team right now that are on one-year deals that are not going to be here in the future. Guys like Poole and Jordan Jenkins and Pierre Desir is another guy that's on a one-year deal. Rashad Perryman, guys like that, where even if some of them are not playing very well, when they're going to be gone at the end of the season, and there's just going to be a gigantic hole in that position. So if you can get rid of a guy like Avery Williamson, who they, actually were probably going to get rid of in the offseason if he hadn't have taken that pay cut. So he took the pay cut in the offseason. They kept him on the roster. They more than likely were not bringing him back next season. And he had played okay. He was all right. And they said, you know what? We know right now we're not going to bring you back next season. Tell you what, we're going to move on from you and get some capital back in return so that we can use that to continue to move forward. I know a lot of people look at it and go, well, Joe, it's just a 5th rounder. It's just a 5th rounder. That's what everybody was saying. It's just a 5th rounder. Listen. Getting a 5th rounder can really help you move. You can utilize that to move up in trades. You can utilize that to move up in a draft and something and really get a guy that can come in and be effective. We talk about some of the biggest issues that we've had in the draft, especially with McCagnon when he was here, was our horrific draft in the mid-rounds. Horrific. You can take that 5th rounder, maybe pair it with another pick, move up into, maybe an early 3rd or late 3rd or early 4th, and you could probably get a guy that can come in and do some things for you. There's a lot of low 3rd round picks, early 4th round picks, particularly if we're talking about offensive linemen, because a lot of, solid offensive linemen have been found in those rounds, and you can get a guy that can come in here and get you some impact day one with his play. So I look at the situation and I say, hey, it is what it is. The Jets are definitely trying their best to continue to, better this roster any way possible, especially going forward, because Joe Douglas is a guy, like I said, you can already see. I mean, some of the draft picks that he's made this year, we're already starting to see a return from Mims. If he's utilized better going down the stretch. I think we'll see more from him as it continues on. But this to me is like I said, is a solid move. And so once I was going back and forth with folks, telling them, hey, what I thought about that, it started to get my wheels spinning as well. It was like, I wonder who could be the next guy, to go. Because the trade deadline is coming right there. It's November 3rd. Who could be a guy that we could see moved before the trade deadline actually comes? And I have a couple guys, and it could be interesting. One of those may be Marcus May. Everyone knows I love Marcus May. I love him. I think he's a great player. This year kind of been up and down. He's had games where he looked good. The first game of the season, he looked amazing. And then, the play kind of tapered down. Now, some people kind of, look at the situation with McDougal and say, hey, it's because of McDougal and all this other stuff. That may be hindering May. He's not being able to be moved around effectively. There's some issues there. There's some other games where he's had the game where he got the interception pinned to his backside. But depending on how the organization feels about him, that's a guy that could have some value. And I could see, the Jets getting the right deal, where they feel like they've gotten solid compensation back. And he's a guy that could be in the talks to be moved. I could see that. I could see Poole also being in the talks to be moved. I could see that. I could see the Jets moving him. I know some people are looking at the safety we just got from Seattle, McDougal. That guy we thought we were really getting something with him, and he has been not so good this season. So I could see them also moving him because he's a guy, again, they don't have ties to, going into next season. So maybe he's a name that's coming up where, hey, if a team calls and they say, hey, what about McDougal? What would you guys take for him? Would you guys take a 6th or 7th or a 5th or a 4th or something like that? Yeah, go ahead. He could be a guy that could be moved. Herndon is another guy. I think they should definitely look into moving. That is a guy that I do not believe that we can move forward with. Chris Herndon has looked horrific. We saw flashes the first, couple years he was here. There was injuries. There were suspensions that he dealt with that, had him missing time here and there. This was the season where we were supposed to see him come in and really cement, himself and tell us, hey, who are you? Are you a tight end that we can go forward with? Are you an offensive weapon that we can move forward with? What are you? We're trying to figure out what you are. And so far, he's shown us that he is none of those things. I mean, this guy's dropping footballs. If he's not dropping footballs, then he's, fumbling. He's making bad plays. So if somebody calls about Chris Herndon and is willing to give us something, he's definitely a guy I would be interested in moving. And the last guy, I know a lot of fans were kind of, split by this, is Crowder. I look at the situation. I think Crowder's a guy that we can, kind of move forward with. I like his chemistry with Sam. I like the fact that he gives Sam, a steady pair of hands. But I know that there's some fans out there, and I was, going back and forth with a lot of people as well, filling out ideas and hearing different takes from different people. And they were saying, hey, if the price is right for Crowder, if a team calls and gives up a 3rd rounder, then the Jets should move on it. And, like I said, I'm not necessarily in favor of moving him, but if the price was right, I could see it being done. I could absolutely see it being done. So Crowder is the last guy I have on the list that I think, could be moved because, again, he's a guy that has value. And going forward, again, with the draft as full of wide receiver talent, as a lot of analysts say that there could be, you could see the Jets move him. You really could. I could see Joe Douglas picking up that phone and saying, okay, yeah, let's get it done. Let's continue to get some draft capital back here so we can continue to build this football team going forward. So please comment down below, folks. Let me know what you folks think. I want to hear your thoughts on it. What are your thoughts about the Avery Williamson trade? What are your thoughts about other trades that could possibly happen as well before the trade deadline? May, Poole, McDougal, Herndon, Crowder. How do you feel about one of those guys possibly getting traded? What is the most and least amount of value that you think you'd be able to get? What's the least amount of value that you would take to move some of those guys as well? And is there a player, that I didn't name at all that you think, could be on the trade deadline, trade block as well for the trade deadline? I know some people are kind of going to throw Sam Darnold out there. The reason I don't have him on my list is because I don't think we move Sam Darnold like that. I'm a big Darnold guy. I know some people want to move on from him, but I think we should keep him on the team and continue to build around him moving forward. But I know some people are going to be in the comments and be like, "Oh, Joe, you didn't mention Sam Darnold." Well, you know, I just took him off my list. He's not on the list. So let me know what you folks think. You folks have a good one. Can't wait to hear from you. Peace.